And the Masked Man is one of my favorite YouTubers on the platform. I think his content creation on terms of anime is incredible. I think he's always done a really incredible job with his anime breakdowns. This is called My Chat Forced Me to Read a Good Manga. So I'm like actually excited to see what this good manga is.
Right here. My chat hit me with some of the best manga I've read in a while. Others kept me up at night. The universe will deal with you specifically. These were the manga that were recommended, most of them being via donation, so thank you to all of those who've been joining the live streams and showing your support. They will be on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube for the time being, so feel free to stop by. And here are 7 manga my chat forced me to read. If you're looking for a new ongoing series that is actually worth your time, Dragon and Chameleon is my first suggestion. In this story, Gario's the
Dude, we get 5 dope mangas? Come on, dude. Come on. We know we're gonna be killing it here, dude. Oh, let's get into it.
Creator of Dragonland, the most successful manga in the world. One thing is very apparent about him. He's an absolute manga addict, someone possessed by the love of what they do and serves as a likable and inspiring main character. His assistant, Miyama, is massively talented as well, but his talent is copying the style of others perfectly, hence his nickname, the Chameleon. Unlike Gario, it's clear from the jump that Miyama—
I actually really like anime like this. Where it's like, Food Wars is a good example. Now, Food Wars has a lot of problems with fan service. The fan service is way too much, really annoying, and it kind of gets in the way of what Food Wars actually is. I think the cooking and the intrigue part of that is like the best part, but I like when it's like an anime about regular people doing regular day stuff. I think that if it's done in the right way, it can still have that shonen flair, and I think a lot of people think that it has to like become like a drama or anything, but you can keep that shonen flair and still do everyday stuff, you know what I mean?
is full of negative sentiments, and he believes he was never meant to have the success he craves. An accident happens and the two end up swapping bodies. Gario is now determined to prove to Miyama that he is wrong about himself, and that he will make a new series that will rise to the top and soar like a dragon. Hence the name of the manga, Dragon and Chameleon. It's a manga about making manga, but it not only delves into some of the technical things that make a page stand out, or the process of working with assistants, but what makes this manga so special and one I'm dying to get more of, is how it delves into the mind of someone who truly loves their craft and is passionate about it, someone dedicated to one thing for their entire life. The different approaches everyone has, and no matter who you are, there is only one thing holding you back, and that's yourself. If you think you're needing a bit of motivation or inspiration, this is one of—
I also like the idea that that your assistant becomes your enemy or becomes the main villain of the story, and how this other guy is like now fighting from the assistant position by saying that, yeah, you might be able to copy my art style, but you can never copy me.
Best things you can read. Seriously, just the artwork alone speaks for itself. Okay, now that we're not in the first 30 seconds of the video, the OG title was going to be Taking Manga Recs Like a Whore, but YouTube has to be a boring platform. From inspirational to—
Base, dude, what is with the Masked Man just being a badass, bro? Dude, I'm sorry, dude. I feel like YouTube's become so bitch made, especially in recent years, that it's just like it's hampering creativity. And the Masked Man fucking gets that, dog. I love anybody who can fucking get that.
Wholesome and very, very happy. This manga is for anyone who needs some uplifting and warm feelings. Banana Fish is a manga about two friends, Ash and AG, I think that's how it's pronounced, who get close. Very close. Now, I don't think some in the back are understanding me. Very close. Ash is a delinquent, criminal, thug, poor soul who's grown up in a life of pain and misery, and AG is an ex-athlete from Japan who's visiting the US of A. They end up involved in this big thing where they need to find out what is Banana Fish. It's like the whole mystery, although pretty early on you find out what it's all about. It's a pure thriller from start to end, and you never really feel like you have time to catch a breath. The moments you do are where some of the best character moments happen, and I think anyone who reads this will appreciate the plot and the pacing. This is completed and is full of action, violence, and some really mature topics, but surprisingly enough has one of the—
I feel like, okay, so I feel like the fact that it's like got a gang person, right? I think, hold on. We're gonna pull something up. Rumblefish, right? Rumblefish. Runs into his old friend Steve Hayes at the beach. It has been 5 years since they last saw each other. Steve is in college, and Rusty is not long out of the reformatory. When Steve looks at the scar on Rusty's side, Rusty tells him that he got it in an eye fight. Steve remembers and tells Rusty that he was there when it happened, and Steve mentions that Rusty looks like someone from their past. Rusty thinks he could. So this is kind of like the same thing, dude. This is the same thing. So this is like, one friend's doing good, the other friend's doing shit, right? Which is, I don't know. It's kind of funny. I feel like they read S.C. Hinton's Rumblefish and then did a play off that. I'm not 100%. I'm just a big S.C. Hinton fan. one of my favorite books of all time, like my entire literary like adult life. One of the best books I've ever read is That Was Then, This Is Now. I think it's an incredible piece. It is a spin-off of The Outsiders, and it's not like it's not like you need to have read The Outsiders to get That Was Then, This Is Now. Just Ponyboy Curtis is in is a character in That Was Then, This Is Now for a short portion of the book. So if you want like background on who Ponyboy Curtis is, you will need to have read The Outsiders, but if you don't read it, he's just a cool side character. Or Golden, yeah, I think it's Ponyboy. Golden Boy Curtis. I can't remember his actual name. It's been so long since I've read The Outsiders, and That Was Then, This Is Now. But I think That Was Then, This Is Now is an incredible novel. It's heartbreaking. It's gorgeous. It's one of the best endings I've ever seen in a book in my entire life. It is truly remarkable. So the fact that this is Banana Fish and Rumblefish, on the top of the fact that there's kind of that dynamic of one person doing good, the other person is in that gang lifestyle. I don't know if there's a gang romance. Rumblefish is not one that I'm acquainted with. I haven't seen the film or read the book on that one, but I do like S.E. Hinton, so it's got to have great literary works. I just know the elevator pitch of it.
Happiest, heartwarming endings ever. So happy, in fact, that I cried tears of joy. So fucking happy.
Dude, the Masked Man is incredible. Like, he just adds this fucking, he adds this flair that I think a lot of people in the anime, community don't add because they're trying to be taken as way too serious.
Tears of joy. So fucking happy that I walked outside at 4 in the morning and thought about whether or not I was making the right choices in life. In all seriousness, I think a great sign of mystery turned thriller manga is when it becomes impossible to put down. Destroying my sleep schedule was totally worth it. Sakamoto Days has been gaining a lot of steam over the last year, and so it only—
yeah, look how dope that looks. Yes, dude. Is there gonna be an anime of this? Because this looks fucking amazing. Sakamoto Days.
It makes sense that something like this would be made. I want you to imagine John Wick, but he gives up his life of being a hitman, not over his woman and love of his life, but for a J-pop idol. Kuroshiya no Oshi is ongoing, and it's a blend of insane action and comedy. I wish I had more to say about this manga, but outside of the description I gave, that's pretty much it.
Oh, dude, it's on, they have Sakamoto Days on Netflix, dude. Oh, dude, I really need to get, I really need to get Netflix, dude, because they're starting to come out with some of the anime that I really want to see pretty bad, and also One Piece Season 2 is coming out, so I need to get Netflix again.
I don't think the action is as good as Sakamoto Days, although to be fair, that is a high bar. If you want something simple and fun, then here you go. I was worried that people were going to recommend a whole lot of ass, but if this is the worst one that will be in the video, y'all did a good job. A manga that I was very happy to see recommended was Red Living on the Edge. This is a revenge story, and not a shit one. There's going to be a video dedicated to the worst one I've read coming out soon, don't worry. But this follows Red, the last survivor of the Wisa tribe who seeks revenge on a group of soldiers that massacred his people. The premise is simple, and my concern at first was if the more unique setting for manga would be the only unique thing about it. But the exploration into the characters, complemented by this simple but well done color motif with the names, has been some of my favorite character writing ever.
This one doesn't have a manga. I mean, have an anime, which sucks because it's got that Western motif, and I think that's just such an underexplored area of anime, dude. Is there's not that Western motif enough. And now I grew up on Westerns. My papa would only watch Westerns, dude. He was the biggest John Wayne fan in the world. He loved Clint Eastwood. All he would do is sit and watch Westerns and sports and hunting. He would watch people hunt. He would watch people play sports, and he would watch fucking Westerns. That's all he did, and I used to love watching them with him. So it would be nice to have like an anime that kind of hit that. I mean, Trigun kind of does it, and there's also this other one, this like a mech one that's okay, but
story at no point ever feels stale, and it explores the true cost of pursuing a life of vengeance in all of its nuances, while covering the mature topics that would be expected when talking about the massacring of the natives. The antagonist of the story gives me chills, and is a slippery character to say the least. This manga punches hard in the feels, has amazing action and scenarios, where even though we may not agree with the actions of the main character or other characters at certain points, they all make sense, as well as showing people who try to live a life of repentance for sins.
Well, and also I like that it's showing the brutality of the West too. I like the glorification of the West, and I also like when it shows the brutality of the West. I can like both things. I think people who hate on like, oh well, the West wasn't that. I hate that they glorify it. Shut the fuck up. It's entertaining. Get the fuck out of here. But I think that this is like, I like that it's like a Blood Meridian style look at the West
that they will have to atone for the rest of their life. Romance, tragedy, violence. My favorite. If you like anything like Blade of the Immortal, Vinland Saga, Berserk, or really any other story that delves into revenge well, I don't think you'll find many that do it better than this one. In terms of the basic premise, it is doing something super unique, not entirely. But not every manga is trying to do something different, some are trying to do something well, and this is a perfect example of such. I had seen a video done on this, and I didn't watch since I didn't read it myself, and I eventually wanted to do a video, but after reading the series, I then watched the video, and I don't think I could make something better than that one. The link to that video will be in the description below.
Up, guys. Okay, we're opening this in a new tab. We're pausing this. We're gonna go to Sandman.
So you know about Paranormal Activity?
We're adding this to the watch later, bro. We're putting this to watch later. We are going to watch this video on the channel later because I am actually really hyped by this by the description and the elevator pitch of this this manga. So I want to see more about it. This is something I want to dive a little deeper in on another day.
Oh, he also has some really good stuff. Do you like speed, racing, cars? Not really? Well, too bad. Initial D is over 700 chapters, but it honestly feels like half of that, which makes sense for a racing manga. I will say it's super fun, and I never thought a series about cars would get me interested personally, but it's cool seeing the growth of the main character Tak. If I had to give a heads up, I do feel like being at chapter 300 doesn't feel all that different from what's happening around the 50 chapter mark. It has one formula, and you can start to feel that when the story isn't being broken up by the drama of the romances that take place, which are well done for the most part, and not what I was expecting at all when reading it. I will say
I'm not the biggest racing guy. I like Fast and Furious, though, like the 1 through 5, I guess. I've watched some racing movies, but it's always like something that I've just been okay with. I've never been the biggest car guy.
Does its Formula 1 well. I'm sorry, you can unsubscribe. No, I get it. I have no issue with that, again, as I had a blast reading it. But if you are expecting the character exploration that you see in Hajime no Ippo with its cast, then you might be disappointed. Fun fact, the author of Ippo was the assistant for Initial D, which I had no clue until I was on call with a family member discussing my sentiments about this manga. The recommendation was to check out the anime, so I might have to do that and see if I like it more that way. It had good moments of comedy, and the rush you feel is magical damn near. But in the first half, it does feel like you were seeing the same turns, the same guardrails, the same beginning and end outcome to each race, over and over and over again. Which could honestly be a critique of sports manga in general, is how repetitive they can feel when you don't feel like the characters are being delved into enough. However, seeing Tak grow from apathetic to in love with racing and letting out his competitive spirit was dope, and something I'm sure some of you will resonate with. The next manga is titled Ice Blade, although it has another title in Japanese that will be up on the screen, and I believe it has a sequel that I didn't check out. Ice Blade is a detective manga where
we need more detective animes that are good, dude. I feel like I'm constantly trying to find good detective mangas. If you know any good detective anime, dude, any like really great detective, I found like No Gun Low, No Life was okay. I'm trying to think of another one that really blew it out of the park. There's that one that's like Psychopaths or something. That one's pretty good. But if you have any other recommendations, I've been like in desperate need of like a noir style detective thriller anime.
The main character is this very clearly emotionally detached individual, and his methods of getting things done can be seen as insensitive or heartless. At first, the story starts off as episodic with each case that you go through, so you sort of feel like the narrative isn't really going too far with anything. It's like, okay, we explored this, dropped it, explored this, dropped it. But after that 10 chapter mark, it continues on to have a consistent narrative. And it's really nice seeing the actions of the main character and the nuances of how justice is handled, and the way that it all goes about it. Overall, it is a bit of a heavy read, and each chapter is quite a bit to go through, so I wouldn't really recommend binge reading this manga, but I do think that if you like detective stories, murder mysteries, thrillers, this is an excellent read to have. I would like to say this now, those of you who recommended series for this video that made it in, y'all did an excellent job with your picks. And I also noticed a lot, I get a lot of comments, or people will come into the live stream and ask me to read something that not only I've read, but I've done videos on. So once again, that's no problem. But for the next part, if this ends up, you know, doing well and I do a part...
Yeah, dude, come on. Like, look up at what, like, before you put a comment when he's talking about recommendations, like, do a quick search on his channel, bro. Just do a quick search. Like, it's not that hard.
I would like to include the usernames of the people who recommended the series, because I feel like you deserve that kind of shout out, at least for your support. So thank you once again to everyone who's shown support, not only in the live streams, but in the videos in general. All right, On to the final recommendation. I feel like I need a cigarette after reading this one. Eden It's an Endless World is a brutal, violent manga in every way. It feels like it has the essence of Blade of the Immortal, Black Lagoon, and a sprinkle of Akira all blended together. A virus kills a whole lot of people, and humans have been using cybernetic enhancements. We follow a couple characters in the story, but the main one is Elijah Ballard. His father, Enoi, I think that's how it's pronounced, I'm shit with names apparently, being a very important person. He gets caught up in a lot of bullshit, as an evil organization is working behind the scenes to gain control, and the virus seems to be evolving as well. This has some great characters, but a heads up, once again, it is very violent and explicit in many ways, and does not spare the reader one bit.
Well, that's fine. I actually I wanna like get more into stuff like this that have like that no fucks given mentality, because I think that it elevates the. Now you might say the brutality and stuff doesn't elevate the genre. I believe it does. When I look at something like Berserk, I feel like it's actually elevating the genre to bigger heights than just your typical shonen slop. Now I love typical shonen slop. I like isekai slop. I like slop of all kinds. But at the end of the day, I do like when I can hit a really good piece of art.
Bit. As the story unfolds, it asks the question a good amount about God and if he is real, and if he is, whether he is fair, tying that in with our existence and how the characters make sense of the ugly mess that they live in. At first I was concerned it was going to be very generic with its approach, but as you meet more characters it provides different views to that question and everything else that comes with it. This is one of those stories that, due to the themes that it deals with, amidst all of the violence and even politics, it will not only stay with you, but you might take away something different or view the message of the story with a different perspective a few years down the line, since it goes over some very existential questions we all sit down and go over from time to time. I think it's safe to say that this has been one of, if not the best manga I read this year, and just one of the best manga I've read, period. Some of these series I'm sure I'm going to revisit, others I'm going to revisit with a lot of hesitation.
Dude, this Eden, it's an Endless World looks so sick, dude. I really hope they make him. Let's check. I've checked on animes on all of them. Most of them. Initial D has an anime, and I think the first one had an anime, but this one I don't know. I don't know if it has an anime. I feel like it probably doesn't. Let's see. No anime on this. That sucks, dude. I would like to see it. I would like to see them make one on this Eden It's an Endless World. The art style is incredible. I really, this is, out of all of them, I think this is the coolest one that bit me by far. I think this one has potential to be really cool too, as just like a sit down and chill with.
And with my emotional guard up, and others I'm really excited to see how they continue onwards. If you want to get your recommendation out and get it included in a video, because it'd be really cool to make this a series, make sure you stop by the live streams and show your support. And thank you once again for an amazing year so far with the channel. I know the uploads have slowed down a lot, but I've really been wanting to evolve and push out.
Well, and I mean, this is from a year ago, so I don't even know if he does the live streams anymore, but I thought this was a really fun video. It's cool to take some of the recommendations from your chat and then look into them. I mean, I've done that definitely on this channel. I love when people recommend me new rabbit holes to go down, and I absolutely will consistently check that shit out. It's just something that I think it's fun to do. Even if I don't think the video is going to be gangbusters, I will at least check it out and look into it on the channel, because, I mean, it's not that I'm doing a service or anything. I'm not that fucking cool, but it's just something that is fun for me. It's really fun for me, so I want to keep doing it. But that's all I got for this one, guys. I thought it was an amazing video. You got 5 new mangas you can check out. I think again, Masked Man does a really good service to all of these. We even have some other stuff to look into deeper, which is super appreciative. And it's just such a great thing that I think more people need to go and subscribe to this guy. And the dude just like has this ability to make me want to keep delving into this world that a few years ago I had no idea about. That I was like kind of like, oh, anime is only for cringe losers. Now I'm like a big fan of it. You know what I mean? So it's about this like learning and like growing with the ideas that I definitely had some hesitancy towards, as well as some kind of, I don't like a lot of the like cringe super anime people sometimes. I think they're annoying as shit, and that's like any fandom gets those type of people. And so it kind of kept me away from like watching or reading or doing any of this type of stuff, because I didn't want to like end up being like somebody who dresses up like Sailor Moon at a convention. And I realized that it's just media, and I can do whatever I want with the media. I don't have to like become this, doesn't have to envelop my entire life. And I think that's something that everybody needs to know, that you might like something a lot, but don't let it entirely consume you. Make sure you're a well-rounded person. Find a bunch of different interests. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I'll get off my soapbox and I'll get out of here. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.